Hey guys, it's your girl Stephanie, and welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Steph. Okay, can I be honest for a second? Nobody warned me that after you heal, after you slow down, after you stop being chaotic, reactive, available to everything, there's this weird moment where life gets quiet. Not peacefully quiet, like too quiet. And you're sitting there thinking, wait, am I bored? Am I lonely? Did I lose my spark? When really, you just lost the noise. This episode is for anyone who did the work, changed their life, softened, slowed down, grew up, and is now adjusting to the calm like, okay, so is this what peace feels like? If growth ever left you feeling a little confused, a little awkward, or low-key missing your old chaos, don't worry. You're not broken. You're just in the part that no one talks about. So here we go. There's a chapter that comes after healing that nobody glamorizes. It's not dramatic or heavy. It's just spacious. Your phone doesn't buzz as much. Your calendar has room to breathe. Your mind isn't racing ahead of you. And your body isn't bracing for impact. And at first, that space can feel unfamiliar. Because when you lived in survival mode for so long, your system expects intensity. So when intensity disappears, it almost feels like something is missing. But what's missing is the urgency you used to call normal. There were moments I caught myself wanting to fill in the space and the silence, say yes to something unnecessary, or create movement just to feel active again. Because chaos is familiar. And familiar can feel safe, even when it isn't. The real shift isn't the quiet though. It's choosing not to run back to the noise just because it recognizes you. And that's where the growth becomes mental. Not, am I forcing this change? But, do I actually feel safer this way? And here's something that I had to understand. When adrenaline was your fuel, calm can feel unnatural. When urgency shaped your identity, stillness feels like a loss of momentum. When being needed validated you, having space can feel like invisibility. I had moments where I thought, shouldn't I be doing more? Why does this feel off? Is something wrong with me? But guess what? Nothing was wrong. My body just didn't recognize safety yet. For years, it operated on alert mode, scanning, solving, surviving. So when that stopped, it didn't know what to do with the silence. And that wasn't boredom, it wasn't regression, it was a recalibration. Peace doesn't always feel warm at first. Sometimes it feels empty, lonely, and sometimes it feels neutral. And neutral, after chaos, feels suspicious. But this isn't emptiness. It's your nervous system learning that it doesn't have to fight anymore. I call that integration. And that's self-care in its most mature form. Now, here's something that makes sense to me now. When the noise leaves, you finally meet yourself. And I'm not talking about the version that's rushing or reacting, nor the version holding everything together. I'm talking about just you. And at first, that can feel awkward because I knew how I was in chaos. I knew how to be strong, busy. I knew how to survive. But being calm, being present and grounded, that was new. It felt like learning how to walk all over again. But I wasn't losing my spark. I was learning how to exist without performing my life. And honestly, that made me love and respect myself more. Because in the quiet, I am not impressive. I am just present. And I feel like a whole new person with integrity, with depth, with more to give. And I feel confident something beautiful is coming my way. Because when you manifest from alignment, you don't chase what's coming. You become the version of yourself that can hold it. And that version of me, I'm protecting. And I want to say one more thing because it matters. Sometimes you miss the chaos you outgrow. Not because it was healthy or not because it was good for you, but just because it was familiar. And there are moments where I still feel the pull, the adrenaline, the rush, the feeling of being needed. And for a split second, it almost feels tempting. But I choose not to answer that door. Because I remember what came with it. Anxiety, exhaustion, self-abandonment. What I'm really grieving isn't chaos. It's the identity I built around survival. And it's okay to grieve the version of you that kept you alive. When you've lived in survival mode long enough, it becomes who you think you are. And letting go of it feels like loss, even when you know you don't want it back. And that grief is part of growth. But once you taste the real peace, you realize there's nothing worth trading it for. I want you to know something. Growth doesn't always feel like expansion. Sometimes it feels like stabilization. It feels ordinary, even uneventful. But uneventful is what safety feels like when chaos used to be home. So you're not stuck. You're building something steady. You're integrating everything you've learned into a life that no longer runs on urgency. And that is not regression. That's maturity. Stabilizing isn't boring. It's what happens when your life finally feels safe. So if you're listening to this and thinking, my life feels calmer now. I don't react the same. I don't crave the same things, even if I miss them sometimes. I feel different, but I don't know how to explain it. Let me tell you this. You didn't lose your spark. You just stopped burning at both ends. And if peace feels unfamiliar right now, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means you're learning how to live without chaos as your fuel. And one day, this calm will feel irreplaceable. I promise you that. So I'm going to leave you with this. If your life feels quieter after growth, don't rush to fill the space. Let it settle. Let it teach you. Let it show you who you are without the noise. This part matters, and this part is sacred. This part is still becoming, and it's worth staying for. Thank you for being here. Thank you for growing with me. And tell me, how does peace feel in your life right now? Message me on Instagram, Unfiltered Steph Podcast, or you can comment below. And if this episode reminded you of someone, share it with the person who's adjusting to calm after chaos. Until next time, stay true, stay raw, and remember, life doesn't come with a filter.